Hello, my friends. Welcome to I Am Woke. I am your host, Emelina. In today's video, I'm going to take you through a good solid update for an energy update, right? A collective reading for the eclipse on April 8th in Aries today. If you are new to my world, hello, my name is Emelina Calder. I'm a cosmic shaman, a high performance life coach, a personal branding coach, and I help you access your higher states of awareness and your absolute highest potential, understanding your soul's most creative, most robust, the word romantic's coming through, but really like the most expansive expression of your soul, and learning how to anchor that into your 3D human experience and reality so that you can live a life that you can only dream of, or something far better than you could dream of. Anyway, so I publish energy updates pretty much weekly, new moons and full moons, eclipses, events like this, as well as personal and spiritual development videos. If that is your jam, go ahead and hit that subscribe button and the bell for notifications so you don't miss any awesome sauce videos and energy updates. I also have a free guided meditation that I really think you guys are gonna love. It's the Rainbow Sacred Flame of Creation that helps to reestablish your own source connection and tame the shadows of your internal fire, as well as expand the light of your own empowerment with your own internal fire. In the seat of the solar plexus, it is guided by the sacred dragon tribes in the multiverse. I think you guys are gonna dig that as well. I have a link in the description for you below. Okay, so jumping in, happy eclipse. I think this eclipse is quite a blessing and simultaneously a destroyer. Okay, I'm not gonna beat around the bush. I feel like I have been tossed around like a rag doll. And I'm just going with the flow, but there are a lot of big realizations. This eclipse is going to feel like a big tower moment for a lot of you. There are big karmic endings, huge karmic patterns are coming to major closure right now at the collective level, around relationships, around soul contracts, around agreements with other humans, around who's going to stay and who's going to go in your life. And Spirit is doing a big sweeping in relationships right now. So people that have not had your best interests at heart are being removed, whether or not you like it. There's obviously some conscious consent involved, but allow Spirit to take away the people that don't belong in your life, that don't have your highest interest in mind and at heart. We are making a lot of room right now as well for new relationships, new soul contracts. Soul contracts meaning both with soulmates and with not soulmates, but like that there's a soul level contract that is created etherically, essentially for you to learn off of another soul and to have a give and take and exchange. And there's just a lot of renegotiation happening right now. So be conscious through this week. This is also a timeless message, but is intended more specifically for this eclipse. I keep picking up my staff, so I actually think I need it to channel. So, which I totally do. Okay, so this is this is one of my shamanic staffs. I've got some crystals on there. But anyway, he is stabilizing my energy. You might need some extra tools right now to get through this week as well, this next couple of weeks, through the month as we close out this little eclipse season. That's starting some very new, very robust cycles for all of us. And is really coming in with a bang. Anything that's not working is being lit to fire. Like you might feel like there are metaphorical and emotional buildings being burned to the ground in your consciousness. Emotionally, perhaps, and also perhaps in relationships around you. And that's kind of what's happening. Allow Spirit to clean up the mess. Allow Spirit to protect you, allow Spirit to take care of you. Don't cling to anything that's not meant for you. Don't cling to anything that just feels familiar because you feel like you need that familiarity. Allow yourself to let go. What's another way of saying it, you guys? I feel like I'm just gonna be a broken record. Let go of that which is not of service to you. Let go of the lower aspects of your ego and your shadow self that are clinging to less than ideal circumstances. All right, so I'm gonna jump into some themes that I channeled like 10 minutes ago before popping on stream. For those of you that are unfamiliar with me, I channel the Law of One the Akashic Records, as well as Divine Mother and Divine Father. And this is the collective channel that came through. Excuse me. There's definitely a lot of energy moving through. I'm not gonna lie, I feel a little rocky, so you guys might feel like you don't know which way is up during this eclipse. But it's really powerful and really beautiful. Anyway, I'm gonna go into the themes that have been streaming through me. So this eclipse is really, it might be tearing your world apart, okay? It's bringing in not necessarily what you want, but what you need. It's removing relationships that are not necessarily what you want to release, but what you need to release. It's calling in new aspects of yourself, your identity, your independence that you've never activated and you're probably completely unfamiliar with because they are brand spanking new, which is going to feel, it's going to feel like you're trying on an entirely new persona for yourself. You're going to feel like you're shifting identities. It's been a big theme recently as well. There's a drastic rebalancing of energies. Anything that has been wildly out of balance in your life, like maybe it's your love life, maybe it's your money, maybe it's your family relationships or soul family relationships, maybe it's your health, maybe it's your career, whatever aspect of your life is like drastically out of balance is being course corrected. In the process of that, they're showing me it's not quite a demolition. It's almost like spirit is moving huge aspects of energy around in your consciousness to like bring you into alignment with balance. So remember to keep your spirituality in balance. So right now they're showing me a good 50-50 split. And they're telling this through me because they know how attentive I am to energetics. It's almost like, yes, be attentive to the psychic conversation, be attentive to the energetics, be attentive to the intuition at the etheric level, but only give that 50%. The rest you're going to stack into the physical. Now, this is for those of you that err on the side of being much more etheric the way that I do. That's the perspective that I'm speaking from. I don't know that there's going to be that many like physically oriented people, like where they're 80% physically oriented watching this channel. I just don't feel that. But if they are, then you're going to be given, 50% up to spirit. But like right now, it's really like take some of that spirituality, acknowledge it, acknowledge all the insights, and then immediately move over to the physical. Place more emphasis on how you are showing up physically in relationships without necessarily having to know the psychic conversation or what's going on. Trusting by putting one foot in front of the other in a very cautious and safe way. Safety is a big theme right now, which I'll jump into as well. That the universe will bring you the ideas and the insights that typically would be delivered to you via more meditative experiences or via like a more intuitive, etheric way will actually come forward in a physical way. Having your attention on physicality, how can you create more stability in your environment? How can you create more safety for yourself physically in all ways? And that you are inherently deserving and worthy of that safety. There are a lot of circumstances right now, like I said, with those big energies that are sweeping through that are like shifting you immediately. And I think I'm just going to jump into the themes. I have an example, but I think I'm going to stick away from that. Just know that you're being made right now. So a new personality, a new version of yourself is being drawn out of yourself. And there might be some very rude or very drastic realizations that you have where you can no longer allow things to sit behind the scenes or continue doing things a certain way because spirit is waking you up in not such a gentle way. I think that's the only way that I can put it. Okay, so I'll just move right into the themes. So theme number 1 that they streamed to me is play it safe. Danger is not sexy. It's dangerous. I'm just going to continue looking down at my notes while I talk to you guys, just so you know my eyes are going down here. It's because I've got my computer here. If you feel overstimulated, all right, they brought my attention to this pretty heavily today. There's an etheric, energetic, like overstimulation, which feels like a lot of excitement. It can feel like anxiety. Those of us that have experienced a lot of trauma in our lives, which honestly is probably going to be most of you, that anxiety or that excitement, that overstimulation can feel like something exciting, but it's actually dangerous. So there's a degree to which, and they're actually telling me, they're giving you guys the transmissions, to which you need to be very mindful of how the energy around you is stimulating you and the quality of the stimulation. All right, if it feels like it's a fight or flight, that's danger. And this is the time where Spirit is now asking you to retreat, to sit back, and to play it safe. You are entitled to safety. You are not going to lose out on any opportunity by deciding to take a safe route for yourself. What they were telling me too is if you do feel overstimulated, and it could just be overstimulation and without any like direct signature of danger or anything. If you feel overstimulated, enter at least a short period of hermitage and self-care to bring the stimulation down. Okay, any level of self-care, whatever that is for you. I give you guys endless examples on all of these streams, but like think about the things that give you the most level of love and attention to yourself. I'm really focused on that to bring all of that energetic stimulation down to an emotional balance. Once you are in a place of balance, you can assess what is safe and what is not safe and how you want to move forward. So the way that they were explaining this to me, when they say overstimulation, my guides, is that they're referring to like, you know, when dogs get scared or there's like danger present, their hair stands on end. That is the sort of energy that is an overstimulation of this eclipse. Anything that is even slightly dangerous is being triggered, which I think I have in another note that I can address, but it's being triggered and you might be feeling that energetic stimulation. Just be careful to not automatically categorize it as excitement. It is like your hair standing on end. And I am being reminded to tell you, only take what resonates, leave the rest, trust yourself, trust your intuitive guidance. This is a collective reading. Okay, so like the example of the dog when the hair is standing up on end, some of you are overstimulated because you're in danger energetically. And everything is energetic before it becomes physical. So if we're attuned or tapped into that subtle awareness, we can sidestep a lot of like issues that would otherwise materialize in our lives, essentially, if that makes sense. But I don't want to put you guys into a state of fear, but just know that safety is really important right now. If you don't slow down enough during a period like this, you won't be able to rebalance yourself spiritually to be able to hear the direction and what you need to do. So we want to be really mindful about, are we taking impulsive action from an overstimulation that might be an energy of an automatic fight or flight spiritually? Or are we taking action from a place of balance where we're actually hearing like very clear, very concise guidance from spirit and then stepping into inspired action, not out of an adrenaline impulse? If that makes sense. It's more like led forward. It just feels like the next right step rather than the automatic next right, rather than the automatic unconscious impulse, if that makes sense. So attuning your attention to what is a conscious versus an unconscious impulse. Oh my gosh, bear with me, you guys. This energy's actually been really dense. Excuse me, it's even dense moving through me right now. And I do feel a high level of caution with spirit. Spirit saying, be cautious. Just like, you know, have two eyes open, have your ears listening, like be attentive. There is a lot of disruption going on. There is a lot of nonsense. There's a lot of deceit happening at the collective level. And it would behoove you to pay attention. Not to pay attention to it, to be involved in it, but to pay attention so you don't get swept up in it. Just have your eyes open, all right? They're showing me a wolf or a fox, like scanning a room. I don't want to call it hypervigilance. It's more just like a attentiveness, okay? Both physically, I was saying mentally, emotional, but no, it's really like physically attentive and spiritually attentive, and they're going to reflect each other. So you'll see spiritual tics with people around you that will cue you in to energetic problems that are going on. You will feel energetic conversation that will be triggering an overstimulation to show you physically what is a problem in your environment, just pay attention. It's almost like this eclipse is like, they're showing me a jungle with not a tightrope, a rope bridge going across like a huge ravine. Okay? You're walking across the bridge. You're safe. The bridge is safe in this scenario. The energy to which your guides are supporting you through this eclipse as you're walking through the portal from the old you to the new you in this paradox and paradigm, you are safe. However, you don't want to be like so aloof that you're like walking across the bridge, then you trip and you fall to your death. Okay? It's like, acknowledge that you are in a period of major transition, mentally, emotionally, spiritually, which is creating a major physical transition, karmically, dharmically, and don't sprint across the bridge. Don't shake the bridge. Essentially, these are all the parts of the ego. They're like, don't try to force or control anything. Just be mindful, be centered, be balanced, know that you're safe, know that you're entitled to your safety, and take one step after the next step after the next step. Watching your step, because if you are on this metaphorical bridge, you know, there's going to be like wood planks and then ropes, and it's going to feel a little shaky, but it is safe, and that's the point. But the point is, you'll make it to safety through your act and attention and awareness of caution. Okay? That's it. Look out for yourself. Don't be a dum-dum. That's what's coming through. Sorry for how crass that is. Okay. Theme number 2 is attend to your slowest moving parts. It's not bad to take it slow. Right now, the ego is going to feel like, why aren't we there yet? Why aren't we doing enough? We're not on schedule. There's so much more we have to do, and it's going to try to force things into control. Just ask your ego to take a back seat, because you need to attend to your body. You need to attend to the slowest moving parts. Generally, the body, the physical reality, is the slowest moving part as opposed to the ego, which is more mental. Also, your inner child. If your inner child doesn't feel safe, slow down and allow your inner child to catch up with you. Give it whatever it needs to feel safe, whether it's more conversations, whether it's a hug from someone you love. I don't know, like allow yourself the safety that you need. Seek out the support. And if you don't seek it out, ask spirit to bring the support to you. Like, I feel like support's been coming out of the woodworks for me. Allow it to step forward and embrace that support. So it's up to you to attend to the slowly moving parts of your consciousness and your inner child and to the body to make sure that you feel safe. I'm trying to tap into more of the energy here because they keep showing me the bridge. There's a few things coming forward here. This is a turning point. There's no going back. This is a spiritual turning point. You have made decisions about the course of your life and your trajectory, both unconsciously and consciously. And they're showing me like the city behind you is being burnt down. There's no retreat. All right. That's not to scare you. That is to tell you that there's no turning back, which means you have to embrace the new. You have to allow the transformation. This is a big root chakra transformation, which tells me that a lot of you are encountering a lot of root chakra, not like damage, but maybe like root chakra upheavaling, which essentially is material, and the sacral chakra. So like relationships, like things are, I can hear that beeping. That's like my confirmation. Things are like up at the surface. They're being made aware to your consciousness. I can't even emphasize, like there's so much caution, exercise so much caution right now. If you guys can hear that beeping, it's like caution. I don't know what else to say. Like spirit is, oh, this is what they were showing me on the bridge. Okay, so just take that beeping in, right? It's like beeping before it backs up so it doesn't hit anything, so that everyone behind that truck is safe. Everyone around the truck knows that it's backing up. You guys can even see it. And like, That's what's happening right now, okay? Like, listen for the beeping that's going on etherically, energetically. Tune into yourself. Really be tapped into your intuition. If something doesn't feel right, back away. Do not question it. Do not think it. You don't even need to know what it means. Just back away. Spirit will take care of it, but it's important that you pay attention to the signs that are coming through, which will come through again like an overstimulation. It'll again feel like your hair standing on end and you're not quite sure why. They're trying to tell me it's not like danger in the way that there's but there is immediate. How do I explain this, you guys? I don't want to incite fear. You guys know that. You have to take a state of emotional balance. Do not allow fear to get a hold of you. But they're also describing things through me in a way that is very real, where there is a very real danger. I don't know that I understand that all mentally to explain it to you. I'm trying to figure it out because they keep showing me this bridge. So I'll give you the dangers on the bridge and then I'll ask them to try to unpack some of that mentally if they can. The dangers of the bridge are that you could fall off into a ravine. It's a big deal. But not if you're aware, because they're telling me the bridge is safe. Your spirituality has created the bridge to safety. Your spirituality has created the bridge to the transition from your hell to your paradise. That's what's being shown to me. They're showing me like the devil like behind, like dancing around in a fucking pyromaniac like fire circle. And they're showing me a golden kingdom across the bridge. They're showing me war and terror behind you. And they're showing me a fruitful paradise across the bridge. And again, this is metaphorical. This is a spiritual awareness. I don't know how physical this is going to be for many of you, but you are walking your awareness across the bridge into a very new reality. New karmic cycles, you guys. You're not going to be repeating the same bullshit addictive patterns. As long as you're attentive and you're seeing a video like this and you want to let go of that which is not serving you. There's a big transition right now. They're also showing me the Libra scales. Like, it's also the bridge and the scales are kind of the same thing. Okay, so you've got hell on this side, whatever the hell you've lived through karmically, all the karmic debts that have at this point likely been repaid for you, and or they're coming into judgment right now and you're being guided to make choices that are in your highest states of awareness so that you can release the old karma. And karma is just cause and effect, right? They are lessons. It's about consequences. When you take this action, what happens? This happens. When you take this action, this happens. The karma gets resolved the moment you relate the action to the lesson, the action to the consequence, and you understand it, the karma gets resolved, right? So a lot of karma is coming to the surface right now for you guys to be resolved so that you can walk across this bridge. I have a couple more themes I want to jump into as well, but I want to touch more on this bridge because they're showing it to me just so clearly. Oh, and the scales. Okay, the scales are the same thing. So you've got this like these karmic circumstances that you've been releasing, moving through, learning from. And then this eclipse is like this balance point right now where you can swing it to the other side. Place more emphasis on your destiny, on the life you want to live, on really fruitful, equally giving, mature relationships, on better standards, on allowing the universe to bring you gifts, like your blessings, like windfalls, abundance, love, prosperity, health, family, all the things. And it's, while you're walking across this bridge, it's like you're able to see all the danger. You're able to see all the previous karmic patterns. They're really coming to the surface right now to the point where you're going to be able to consciously acknowledge them, likely with people around you. There's a lot of emphasis around relationships right now. And you're also going to see the potential. You're going to see the new. You're going to see the new people stepping in. You're going to see the new money. You're going to see the new opportunities. You're going to see the new career moves. You're going to see the fruits of your labor really prospering as long as you've been putting in the work, with which that's going to resonate with a certain amount of you. Those of you who have been know that you have been, and you get to collect your rewards. But you're going to be able to see both things at the same time. That's a little bit of a mind shake for the ego, because the ego doesn't deal with paradox very well. This is something I've really cultivated in my consciousness. I'm like a walking paradox. I can hold like two polarities at all times, but it really is like, can you allow yourself to see the damage, to see the danger, to see spirit burning your ships up behind you? And can you also hold the idea of seeing your kingdom, your castle, your prosperity, your gold, your wealth, your opulence, superb unconditional love, whether that is elevating current soul contracts or replacing them with new soul contracts. That's all on the table. And a lot of it has to do with your own ability to hold the space for the paradox. Seeing both things happen at once, looking at the damage, at the ships being burned behind you, at the city being totally decimated behind you on this like bridge before you're walking forward, not looking back too much. All right, like it's kind of like looking at a train wreck. It's like it's not going to help you. You need to move to safety. Put on your own mask, write your own oxygen mask before you help someone else. Like, move your ass to safety. Get over the bridge before you start staring at and decompressing and starting to break down. What was all the damage I just left? Like, what was that? Was that a nightmare? Did I just like escape some massive like karmic pain? Like, yes, but right now, as you're transitioning to safety, is not the time to decompress off of it, okay? So like, you're in a like spiritual, I don't want to call it PTSD, but it's kind of like gosh, I don't want to scare you guys, but it is a more fear-based energy coming through. It's like a, let me just tap in. How do you guys want to explain it? They're saying it is a spiritual PTSD. It is a spiritual PTSD. Again, only take it if it resonates with you. But it's like you're walking across this bridge to safety and you're terrified because you know what you're leaving behind. And you know it wasn't good. And it is terrifying because you're in an act of escape spiritually. You're escaping whatever the prison was that you were in before, whatever that hell was that was constructed etherically, mentally, spiritually, physically in your actual world as well. I'm seeing you guys busting out of karmic patterns, like busting out of generational curses and hexes, and really like claiming your right to live. Claiming your aliveness, claiming your creativity, claiming your sexuality, claiming your destiny, claiming your personality, claiming your identity in a totally new way. And you're fighting for it. Whether or not you feel it, spiritually you're fighting for it. Everyone I know that I've spoken to in the last like 2 to 3 weeks has been going in and out of depressions. And most of us aren't triggered into depression easily. So like I posted a video a few days ago about spiritual depression. In order for me to get hit with even a what would I call it? Like a depressive episode, which for me is like a couple of days. That was long for me, you guys. For me to get hit at that level, I'm like, oh, like that means the collective's getting hit like hard. And all of my friends have essentially like reinforced this as being the case. Because I typically am so emotionally balanced that those things don't affect me. But where am I going with this? It has been, so just like really pay attention to that. What else is coming up on this bridge, you guys? You're making it to safety. The point is you're going step by step by step by step. You're making it to safety. Once you get to safety, you can cheer, you can have a party, you can invite your new friends and new soul contracts to that party. You can decompress and journal out like what it was you just experienced. And then you can start a new level of healing, which is going to be adapting to a new identity. It's almost like, they're showing me, it's like almost, do you guys really want me to say that? It's almost like a spiritual witness protection program. Wow, you guys, the karmic contracts, the soul contracts you're leaving behind are like, I'm really proud of all of you guys. They're like fucking evil, like just like massive attachments to generally lower level dark forces. And you're no longer tied into those contracts. And when you get to the other side, you're going to be given a new identity. That new identity is your soul identity, but it's going to be separate from the identity that you're leaving behind. I don't know exactly what that's going to look like for each and every one of you, but I do know that what I channeled last week is a big theme for April is allowing yourself to try on and shift into new identity forms within yourself. Try on new levels of your personality, try on new ideas, new expressions, new emotional expressions, speaking your truth in different ways, because you're actually changing the quantum matrix expression. You're changing the quantum expression of who you are at a soul level, and you're doing it in the middle of your life right now, which is a kind of perplexing process. I know I've said this in a previous stream at some point, but you know, a lot of people think of incarnation as you drop the identity, you leave this plane of existence, right? You die and you come back as a new identity. But we experience kind of like a level of reincarnation while we're living, when we're highly attentive to spiritual awareness, when we're very awake and aware. We can go through ego deaths, drop huge karmic contracts, and shift identities in the middle of our life, or several times throughout our life. Like I've done mine a few times, but this is a really big one for me. And that can feel really interesting because it creates like a real demarcation line in your life where you're like, that really is my past life and this is my very new life. And I don't know exactly how I work yet, but I'm like starting to test it out and go with the flow here. Okay, I'm just going to move into the third theme. They keep showing me this bridge, but we'll get to more of it. The third theme is having intense awareness to your shadows. This eclipse is bringing a lot of shadow energy to the surface. Things that have been in hiding in your experience, energetically, subconsciously. A lot of it is very, very deep subconscious programming. Okay, I think they're bringing Chiron forward. I don't know the specifics for the astrology, but I do think Chiron, which is like the wounded healer, is present right now. Anyway, in the astrology, but anything that's been in hiding is coming to the surface. So this is what they channeled through me, what they showed me. They said it's kind of like if you have this foundation on a beautiful home, but you decided you wanted to demolish the home and redo the foundation and build an entirely new home that has like 10 bedrooms instead of 4 and like whatever. Like you're shaking up the foundation, and when you go to the level of the foundation of what was built in that home, what's happening is like etherically, metaphorically, all these cockroaches are coming out of the surface, and you're like, oh my God, I didn't know we had such a pest infestation. I had no idea that there was like an entire colony of cockroaches and termites and spiders and straight like living under the foundation of my house. How did I not know that? And you're starting to see in your consciousness all of these insects, like these pest control issues coming to the surface, and you're like, I had no idea. Are things getting worse? No, they're not. You're rebuilding your life and it's beautiful, and you're rebuilding it from the place of a really solid foundation. But in the act of acknowledging the previous foundation, and which is your root chakra, right? And bringing energy to your root chakra, to the previous foundation, anything that was seedy, anything that was manipulated, anything that was running behind the surface in your subconscious or other people's connections to you in weird ass soul contracts that maybe we didn't know about, are being shaken and coming to the surface. And that shows up as a lot of shadow, okay? I don't know how else to express that. It's just like people doing shady shit around you and you noticing it. And you going, what's happening? Am I manifesting wrong? No, you're actually manifesting really well. So well to the point that spirit is shaking out your foundation so that you can see the sort of pest control you need to take care of. You have to clean it up, allowing spirit to clean it up. Set some time aside for journaling, dumping, shadow work, mirror work. Mirror work is great. That is something I would definitely recommend doing over the next 3 days. Sit down in front of a mirror for 5 minutes and just talk to yourself. You can see straight back to your consciousness. When you look through your eyes, whatever needs to process will come forward to process. Talk to yourself in the mirror. Allow whatever needs to be expressed. Your shadow will speak through you. Your inner child can speak through you, through your mirror work. Your higher self can speak through you. Journaling, any level of shadow work, okay? Theme number 4 is raise your standards. Stop being quiet, all right? Speak your mind and hold your ground. This is not the time to be shy about your boundaries. And there are two things with boundaries that they're showing me right now. They're showing me the diplomatic boundaries, where we are kind, not meek. And we set our boundaries and we set our standards and we tell people how to treat us. Then when they don't respect that, get out the sticks, all right? Then you're gonna fight for it. And there's no, they're saying to me right now, do not be shy. Be willing to fight for your rights, for your standards. The rights for your freedom, the rights for your sovereignty, the rights for your safety, the rights for your personal expression. And there is absolutely no going back. If you allow yourself to fall back in patterns of, you'll set the boundary, and then when somebody walks across it, you're like, oh, okay, I guess my boundary wasn't enough, and you take it as like a self-worth hit. You're gonna like ask spirit to just bring your attention so that you don't do that, because you'll get locked into those karmic contracts, because we're at a huge karmic closure and karmic opening. Like new positive karmic cycles can open right now and are being opened right now, new portals of awareness for you guys. So just be very mindful of any people-pleasing natures, even for those of you that wouldn't consider yourself to be people pleasers. It's just like very highlighted right now. Set boundaries consciously, set them verbally, make those boundaries very, very clear to people. And then when people walk over them, because it's pretty much inevitable, because they're just, I don't know how else to say it, we're just gonna be, there's just a lot of assholes on this planet. And as kind as I can be, and I can be so effing compassionate, I'm just constantly reminded, like, oh right, sometimes you do have to. You set a nice boundary, right? You set a kind boundary, and then you set a firm boundary. And you have to be willing to fight for that boundary. If you're not willing to fight for that boundary, you will be walked on by one person or another. And that energy is just coming through so loudly and clearly right now. Also, don't shoot the messenger, you guys. This is literally the message. I'm like, again, so much, I said this all the time, so much of this channeling work is just so vulnerable, because I'm like, I don't know how people are going to respond to this, but it's what spirit is sending through as a message. So take what feels right for you. Theme number 5 is protection and rituals. Okay, so protect your truth, protect your magic, protect your sexuality. Be very mindful of who, oh, I wrote this out, yeah. Okay, be very mindful of who you're sleeping with right now. For those of you that are single, for those of you that are in relationship, if you're conscious, you're likely in good relationships, I would hope. So I'm gonna focus on the single side. Be mindful of who you're opening your energy up to and making yourself available to. Because of the big karmic opening and closure contracts right now, for you guys to know, at some point I'll do a video on this in more depth on the energetics behind sexuality. But when you have sex with someone, you are opening up new contracts. And you may be subconsciously agreeing to certain contracts or agreements, psychically, energetically, or at the soul level, that you would not agree to consciously. So just be mindful. You know, of course, sex is beautiful in many ways. Just be very mindful of, I don't have another way of saying it. Be mindful of who you're sleeping with. All right. It's not just a body thing. It's just not. All right. You're agreeing to a lot of terms with that person, a lot of arrangements that have everything to do with the microcosm and macrocosm of everything that you are here to experience when you open up with another human and you share that level of intimacy, vulnerability, and energy, because the energy cycles through both parties. You're doing a big agreements exchange, solidifying agreements, removing agreements, and it's just really important to be very knowledgeable and aware. Again, this is a message for all of you that are single, both men and women. And Spirit's taking me here. I'm just gonna go for it, okay? Wear protection, all right? When you consciously place a protective barrier through intercourse, a condom, right? You are consciously placing protection on your karma and on your dharma at a conscious level, so that you're not automatically exchanging karma, so that you're not automatically enrolling in soul agreements. They're literally sending it through to me so clearly. Be ultra mindful with who you're sleeping with. Make sure that the people that you are engaging with intimately deserve your attention, deserve your time, are worthy of that trust and respect of entering your sacred temple, both men and women. If you wouldn't bring them into your paradise permanently, you don't want to be around them and exchange that level of energy with them. I think you guys will know what I mean. I will leave that there. Protection physically and protection rituals are really important right now. So be mindful of anyone that might be trying to siphon off your energy. You'll be shown them very clearly. Energy vampires are real. Create protection for that, whether it's boundaries, whether it's sacred communication, whether it's like very much standing up for your boundaries and being like, no, you're not going to treat me like that. Whether it's you saging your apartment, whether it's you doing an Akashic Records protection ritual. I streamed 2. One is in the video about spiritual depression that you guys can find in my live streams. And the other one is the activation for your own personal sun, which is another big protection ritual for your mental and emotional body and your spiritual body, which creates physical protection as well. The big emphasis right now is that no one is entitled to access you. And remember that. No one is entitled to your energy. Remember that. You get to choose who has access to you based on whether or not you feel like they have accurately and appropriately respected you and your energy, and whether or not they actually belong in your life or not. And I feel like that's going to be made very obvious for the far majority of you, as it is for most of the people I know right now. So I know this is a much more serious toned message. I hope it meets you with love and grace, and that you are so supported through this eclipse, because it really is beautiful and it really is opening just such gorgeous portals of paradise. Like I said, again, it's like holding those scales, like you're leaving behind terror and you're stepping into paradise, but right now in your consciousness you're holding space for both things. So when you see some of the BS that's like coming up and the shadow work and everything, just don't attach a story to it, because it's not coming up because you're attracting it. It's coming up because spirit is shaking up your root chakra and your foundation of everything that it is to be a physical human, and your sacral chakra and your relationships and everything that it is to connect intimately with other humans. And it's all coming up to the surface so that you can see it in your consciousness, and with your new fine-tuned awareness and ability to discern, you're able to say, that's not for me, that is for me. That's not for me, that doesn't feel good. Get rid of that. Anything that feels like that, take it away. I'm here for the good stuff. Oh, that feels good. I'll take a little bit more of that. And that's kind of like, we're at like a buffet, right? And this eclipse is like a buffet where it's like, ew, I hate worms. I'm not eating those. And then it's like, oh, Jello sounds good. Okay, great. Like, I don't know. You're picking from the buffet of options, of relationships, of circumstances. There's a lot of stuff coming to the surface that might not even be coming through physically. You might not see it or hear about it physically. It's just like, you're going to be getting hit with these, if you're not already, or have been for the last week, getting hit with these waves of like, you feel like you're processing eons of information in 24 hours that has a lot of ups and downs emotionally, because it's feeling, that's just the way it's feeling, which can come off like a little bit of a mania or a depression. Again, everyone I know is like going through this, so to some level. So you're not alone if you do feel that way. My palms are itching, which just tells me there's so much energy moving through right now. All right, Spirit, anything else you want to share? Oh yeah, they were leading me to this. I'm gonna pull a couple cards. I feel a little bit more free now that that message has been delivered. Happy eclipse. I think I shot this video roughly when it was going over Los Angeles, so that's cool. All right, so the cards that came forward are the Athlete, the Mystic, and the Rebel. I will explain these in a second. I'm going to show them to you. Okay, so the Athlete is about dedication to transcending physical limits, including handicaps. Those handicaps are your shadows. They're being brought to the surface right now. Wherever you are naive, that's going to be highlighted, all right? And you might feel a little weird for being naive or a little guilty or like, oh, I didn't know I thought that way. Oh, how silly of me. That's all right. That's like a handicap for the moment. But your attention's being brought to it so that you can develop the personal willpower and strength of spirit to become stronger, to be able to see more clearly, to move into a more mature development. You're going to see all of that through your ability to be in union with the divine, to convene with your mystic nature, your authentic truth, your spiritual awareness, your intuition. Follow your intuition and don't be afraid to be a little feisty about it, okay? This is an Aries new moon. Aries is a rebel. It is the god of war. All right? Know when to war and when not to, but right now it's all about protecting your own sovereignty, your will to live, your aliveness, your destiny, what is meant for you, who you are growing into, and rejecting anything that isn't of service to you and giving 0 F's about it. If anyone cares, just be like, that sounds like a you problem, not a me problem. I know who I am. All right. Spirit, what do you most want us to know right now? They spat out the cheetahs, most Aries card I could have possibly asked for. This is the divine masculine of the fire element. Okay, so this is all about forward movement. You can see the red and the yellow, like I was talking about. This is a big root chakra, sacral chakra activation right now. You're going to be sprinting forward. It's probably going to feel like you got a lot on your plate. You're making a dead rush, a dead sprint to your destiny. Like, any of the trash is going to be taken out by spirit. It's kind of in your consciousness. It's working its way through. You don't have to revel in it. Just kind of try to process it through as quickly as possible, whatever level of mirror work and shadow work and journaling you need to do, a high level of self-care, and then allow yourself to take the actions that feel like the next right steps for you. You're going to be flying and soaring. This is the eagle, again, with the attention to the sun. This is literally a solar eclipse today, and the sun is right here. And if you see, this eagle is like going real close to the sun. It's being okay with the heat. It's being okay with the fire. It's being okay feeling the fire of your own transformation. It's going to be painful, okay? It is a purification process. It is a purging process. Like, even for me, I'm not going to give you guys clear examples this week because I have a lot of things going on through my consciousness that I don't want to share, but specifically, I feel like I have been burned. Like, my consciousness is in purification. Depending on the level to which you have allowed any level of betrayal or self-sabotaging or darker consciousness traits, the burn will feel more intense. All right, this is also about speaking your truth, acknowledging your truth, seeing the circumstances in front of you, which spirit will be bringing to you in a very obvious, clear way. Don't ignore them. Things have manifested in front of you so that you can acknowledge them, so that you can directly confront them head on and make some decisions. And you might be falling back into some old behaviors. And if you do, reroute yourself and correct the behavior. If that's with a person, it's okay to, like, they're showing this very clearly to me. It's like, it's okay to make the mistake and then turn back around and have a conversation with that person and say, actually, I know I said this, but I actually meant this. And, like, reassert yourself. You don't have to get it all right, perfect out of the gate. You just have to be able to get it right for yourself, whatever that right is, which is going to be your expression and speaking your truth in how you feel and what you mean. The earthworm, okay, right? This is going to feel like brand new territory for you. It might be a little scary. You're going to feel very inexperienced. You're going to feel like a total beginner. There's a lot of color here, right? There's a lot of potential. There's a lot of enlightenment in occupying a beginner's mind. So allow yourself grace through that process. And then the otter came out right after that, which is about joy. It's about play. It's about knowing that you're walking into your paradise. Like, start getting excited. The world is about to change for you. You're stepping into your destiny. Like, your life is about to change. And I don't think you guys know. I don't even think you get it. Your life is about to change monumentally for the better. And it's going to bring so much joy and so much celebration and so many beautiful, harmonious relationships to you that you're not even going to know how you got there. You're going to go, how is this even possible? Like, this has never been my life. Well, it's about to be. It's about to be your life. And let me just see the order that these popped up. Oh my gosh, we have a full balance. So you know how I was telling you guys, like, balance between the physical and the spiritual? 50-50, they gave me one card of each element in the deck. Fire, air, earth, water. It is perfectly balanced. All right? You're sprinting forward towards your dreams. You're speaking your truth and allowing that truth to radiate and burn. The sun, your own personal sun, burns anything that stands in the way of that truth. You're allowing yourself to have a beginner's mind, see the potential, and step into your most authentic expression, which is truly a joy-filled expression. You're the phoenix. You're rising up out of the ash, and you're creating a brand new reality that's going to be very fun and very wild and very, like, flamboyant. Okay. I'm already feeling better about that energy. That otter card is like a good sign. All right, any parting words for this eclipse and for this week? This eclipse is such a vast, big energy, a dense energy. It is carrying through the week, so I'm not going to do another separate like, weekly video. This is the weekly video. All right, you guys. I pray for a financial breakthrough. All right, allow the good stuff to meet you. This is about physical, material rewards coming to you that will cause you a lot of joy as you let them in, as you speak your truth and allow this transformation to take place in the way that spirit wants you to transform. There is no control in this process. Your ego might want to throw a shit fit about it. You just gotta know that you're not in control. Spirit's in control, okay? You might feel like you're a rag doll being tossed around a little bit. That's all right. Like, allow spirit to do whatever it's gonna do. Don't attach to the process. Allow yourself to be moved into alignment with your best. Are there any parting messages? Law of One, you'd like to speak through me to the collective? No, they said you're done. Okay. I'm done. Alrighty, guys. Enjoy the eclipse. I hope you enjoyed this. If you did, go like the video. Drop a comment below. I'd love to hear what resonated. If anything resonated with you or what you're experiencing during the eclipse or this week or what's been coming up for you. Subscribe, hit that bell for notifications. If you like my vibe and you like the way that I channel and how I channel and work, I would love to invite you to work with me. I will leave a slew of links in the description below. I have personal one-on-one programs. I have meditation albums that are beautiful guided activations that will actually shift and transform your energy to give you a lot of psychic and energetic protection that makes like immediate shifts in your reality. So my clients always tell me they feel really big immediate shifts and it like changes things very physically immediately for them. So there's that. And I also have 2 self-paced programs, online programs. One is about spiritual confidence, stepping into your power, rooting in your authenticity, essentially everything in the reading today, to become your most robust, radically authentic self who gives 0 fucks about what anyone thinks about them and steps into their destiny. And then the other program I have is Akashic Records Immersion, and that is teaching you how to read your own Akashic Records, do your own spiritual work, psychic development, and that's a really beautiful program too. That's what I got for you guys. Thank you so much for joining me, and until next time, I will see you later. Alrighty, lots of love, peace, bye.